You see, this is where you're wrong. You seem to think that NATO is a deterrent for Russia by merely existing. That's not the case. Russia knows that we have less madmen on our side when it comes to the use of nuclear weapons. They also know that we have less of a zero-sum game when it comes to any kind of warfare between Europe and Russia than Russia does. Russia looks at its strategic position in Eastern Europe / Western Asia as untenable, and they are right, mainly because there are two areas that Russia has to defend again, the Polish Gap and the Suwalki Gap. Both of those are indefensible in their current state. Russia cannot defend against an invasion from Europe into Russia, period. And Russia has reason to worry. It's happened a couple of times in the last 100 years where countries have tried to infringe on Russia's territory, whether it's their territory proper or the Soviet Union or whatever. And so they want to be able to control the Polish Gap and the Suwalki Gap. What they were banking on is the last administration's kind of disapproval of the way things were going in NATO, specifically with the American support of NATO. And the reality was, yes, Europe was not necessarily holding up its end of the bargain, so Russia was trying to drive a wedge between Europe and the United States. And because of that, they figured that the United States and many of the backbone nations of NATO, to include the United Kingdom and France, would not come to the aid of Poland or the Baltic nations, because that is what Russia wants. Russia wants the Baltic nations to secure access to the Baltic Sea, because Kaliningrad just isn't it. They want to secure the Suwalki Gap with its own population, not the Polish population, and they don't feel Belarus is enough to do that, so they want to be able to close down the Polish Gap by owning Poland, and they want to close down the Suwalki Gap by owning Ukraine, Moldova, etc. So you thinking that the mere existence of NATO was going to stop Russia is incorrect. It is in all likelihood that if Donald Trump were in power and Estonia were invaded by Russia, Donald Trump likely would not have upheld the NATO treaties when it comes to a country like Estonia or Latvia or Lithuania, or even Poland for that matter. So they were of the opinion, or his administration was of the opinion, that Europe wasn't doing enough, so the United States needed to just leave the region. That was what Putin was banking on. He didn't get that. That's not to say that won't come in the future. I doubt it, but you're wrong to think that Putin won't do anything.